This video explains what defaults are and how to set them. When you start a new inspection, one of the options you have is setting defaults. Setting defaults is a way to save time on your inspection because it allows you to set default descriptions for items that either appear frequently or are common throughout an inspection. This option is only available on the PC and is turned off by default. You can turn it on by going into Program Settings. Let's see how it works by starting a new inspection. So we have our house template selected, and we're going to go ahead and click on Start New. This will pull up the main PalmTech program. Now that the program is open, a message pops up that asks, do you want to set defaults now? Let's go ahead and click on Yes. And we're now looking at the Set Default Description screen. The first box is for the type, and here we have different options for the items we're going to set a default description for. Let's go ahead and select Ceiling. Now that we've selected Ceiling, we'll change the default description. We'll say Paint. Now, let's go ahead and change this to Wall. And we'll say this is also Paint. And then finally, we'll go to Floor. And we'll say that the flooring throughout the house is mostly carpet. When you set up the default descriptions, you can set them up for all the items in the type list, or you can do it just for a couple of items like we did here. Let's go ahead and click on OK and see how this works. To do this, we're going to go to our bedroom category. Now that we're in the bedroom category, let's fill out a couple lines. And so for our ceiling, we'll say this is in good shape, so we'll mark it as acceptable. And when we do that, we'll see it automatically populates it with that description we set up at the beginning. Same thing's going to happen for walls. We'll select this acceptable, and then paint will go in there. And we'll do the same thing for floor. But let's say that this particular bedroom actually doesn't have carpet. It has hardwood. That's not a problem. You can always go in here and then change this to hardwood. And so if you have a default description that's set up, you can change it even if it gets input. And that's a look at how default descriptions work. You can set them at the beginning of an inspection like we did, or at any time during an inspection by going to Edit, Default Descriptions. And here we see that Set Default Description screen we saw at the beginning, and you can simply make the changes that you want. This concludes the video on setting defaults.